Know the Gods, discussion of the gods from all pantheons across history.
Aengus Óg, Irish-Celtic pantheon mythology. Aengus Óg, also called Óngus, Aengus Mac Óg, Mac Ind Och, or Mac an Och, is an Irish god of youth, love, beauty, poetic inspiration, dream, charm, and enchantment. His name and titles carry the feeling of the young one or young son, marking him as a figure of eternal youth and fresh desire. He belongs to the Tuatha Dé Danann, the divine tribe of Irish mythology. He is usually named as the son of the Dagda and Boann, the goddess of the River Boyne. His birth is surrounded by magic. The Dagda conceals his union with Boann by manipulating time, causing the sun to stand still so that Aengus can be conceived and born outside ordinary time. This gives Aengus a mythic origin in suspended time, secret love, and supernatural beauty. Aengus is closely associated with Brú Near Boyne, the great otherworldly dwelling connected with Newgrange and the Boyne landscape. In one famous tale, he gains the Brú through a clever verbal trick. He asks for it for a day and a night, but the phrase can also mean day and night, allowing him to claim it forever. This links him with wit, language, charm, and the magical power of double meaning. His most famous romantic myth is the dream of Aengus, in which he dreams of a beautiful maiden and becomes lovesick for her. He searches for her until she is revealed as Caer Ibormeith, a woman who lives part of her life in swan form. Aengus recognizes her among many swans and joins her, transforming into a swan himself. They fly away together, and their song causes listeners to fall asleep for days. This myth makes Aengus one of the great Irish images of love as dream, recognition, transformation, and enchantment. Aengus is not only soft or romantic. Some traditions also describe him as skillful, strong, and capable of action. He carries the grace of youth, but not childish weakness. His power is attraction, song, wit, beauty, timing, and emotional magnetism. Depth psychology profiles psychologically. Aengus Óg represents the youthful erotic soul, the part of the psyche that still believes in beauty, longing, poetry, and the transforming power of desire. He is not merely romance. He is the deep psychic movement toward what enchants us. He appears when the soul becomes animated by an image, a dream, a beloved, a song, a vision, a possibility. In this sense, Aengus is the inner power that refuses to let life become emotionally dead. His birth outside ordinary time suggests that love and inspiration do not always obey normal chronology. A person can suddenly become young again through desire, art, beauty, or longing. Aengus is the psyche of springtime, the return of freshness after heaviness. His search for Caer is psychologically central. He dreams of the beloved before he knows her in waking life. This shows the way the psyche often encounters its own missing image first in dream, fantasy, projection, or longing. Beloved may be another person, but may also be an inner figure, the soul image that calls the person toward transformation. Aengus teaches that longing is not always weakness. Sometimes longing is a thread that leads the psyche toward its own hidden wholeness. Archetypal psychology profile archetypally. Aengus Óg is the divine youth, the dream lover, the poet of desire, and the enchanter of the heart. He is the beautiful young god whose power lies in attraction rather than domination. He does not conquer by force. He draws, sings charms, dreams, and recognizes. His energy belongs to the subtle threshold between eros and imagination. He is close to archetypal figures such as Eros, Cupid, Mabon, Maponos, and the eternal youth gods of spring and desire, though he remains distinctly Irish in his connection to the Bóinne, the Brú, the Swan Maiden, and the Tuatha Dé Danann. As an archetype, he often appears in the psyche when life needs to be re-enchanted. He brings the feeling of the first poem, the first love, the first music, the first dream that matters. He carries the archetypal power of beauty to awaken what has become numb. Aengus is not the mature spouse or the settled king. He is the call, the shimmer, the ache, the song across water. He is love before it hardens into duty, and inspiration before it becomes technique. Hermetic profile. Hermetically, Aengus Óg expresses the principle of vibration, the power of song, beauty, and emotional resonance to alter consciousness. His myths are full of subtle magic. Time bends around his birth. Language bends around his claim to the brew. Dream bends into waking life. Human form bends into swan form. Love bends ordinary perception into enchantment. He also expresses correspondence. The beloved in the dream and the beloved in the world mirror one another. The inner image calls the outer search into motion. What appears as romance is also a movement of soul toward its own counterpart. Alchemically, Aengus is the green gold fire of youth, not the blazing kingly gold of full solar authority, but the tender, volatile gold of spring, poetry, attraction, and renewal. His alchemy is not conquest, but softening. He melts hardness. He turns distance into song. He turns longing into transformation. His swan symbolism is especially hermetic. The swan belongs to water, air, beauty, sound, and transformation. It moves between elements, floating, flying, singing, and crossing thresholds. In Aengus, the swan becomes the image of love that changes the body of the lover. Astrology, astropsychology significance. Mytho-astrologically, Aengus Óg belongs to the celestial language of youthful eros, poetic longing, dream recognition, and the first stirring of beauty in the soul. He carries a Venusian field of attraction, sweetness, charm, pleasure, grace, and relational magnetism. Yet his love is not only sensual, it is imaginal. It begins in dream and becomes a path of awakening. His Venus is therefore touched by the moon, feeling, memory, sleep, water, image, and the mysterious pull of the soul toward what it has already seen inwardly. There is also a mercurial quality in Aengus, wit, verbal magic, cleverness, double meaning, and the ability to win through speech rather than force. His claim to the brew shows language functioning as enchantment. Phrase becomes a doorway. Seasonally, he carries the feeling of spring, the renewal of desire, the return of colour, the awakening of song, and the young green force that rises after winter. Psychologically, he is the astrology of the heart when it becomes young again. As an astropsychological image, Aengus is the moment when longing becomes a guide. He is the inner movement that says beauty is not decoration, beauty is a summons. Shadow expression. The shadow of Aengus Óg appears as eternal adolescence, romantic projection, seduction without responsibility, and addiction to the feeling of being enchanted. In shadow, he may chase the dream, but avoid the real person. He may prefer longing to intimacy, fantasy to commitment, beauty to truth, or charm to maturity. His gift for attraction can become manipulation. His youthfulness can become refusal to grow. Another shadow is lovesickness as identity. The person may become so attached to yearning that they cannot receive actual love. The dream of the beloved becomes more important than relationship with the living human being. Aengus can also show the wound of idealization. Everything ordinary feels like failure because the psyche is seeking the swan maiden, the perfect song, the impossible beauty. In this form, Aengus becomes the ache that never lands. Integrated expression. Integrated Aengus Óg is the mature preservation of youthfulness. He teaches the person how to remain open, tender, imaginative, and capable of wonder without becoming childish or irresponsible. His integrated form does not reject ordinary life, it enchants it. In maturity, Aengus brings beauty into relationship, poetry into speech, play into love, and dream into embodied action. He allows the soul to stay young without refusing growth. He also teaches right recognition. In the myth of Caer, he must recognize the beloved among many swans. Psychologically, this is the ability to distinguish true soul calling from passing infatuation. Integrated Aengus knows the difference between a fantasy that drains life and a dream that awakens it. His gift is the renewal of the heart. Key symbols: swan, dream, youth, love, song, poetry, River Boyne, Bóinne, ring, beauty, enchantment, time standing still, beloved seen in dream, the magical phrase, the hidden dwelling, White birds, music that induces sleep, transformation through love. The young sun, the lover as poet, the heart as doorway. Human personality type, inner figure. Aengus Óg appears as the beautiful youth, the dream lover, the poet, the musician, the romantic, the charmer, the tender trickster, the inspired young artist, the one who follows a vision no one else can see. As an inner figure, he may arrive when a person has become too practical, too dry, too defended, or too old in spirit. He brings back the ache of beauty. He asks the person to listen again for the song beneath ordinary life. He may also appear as the inner beloved, not necessarily a literal romantic partner, but the image of what the soul longs to unite with. Aengus says, follow the dream, but learn to recognize what is real within it. Ritual, contemplative use. Aengus Óg can be contemplated when working with love, poetic inspiration, youthful renewal, dream imagery, beauty, emotional openness, and the healing of cynicism. A simple contemplative question: what dream image has been calling my heart back to life? Another: where has longing become a doorway rather than a wound? Another: what beauty am I being asked to recognize, not possess? A useful meditation image is to imagine standing beside a quiet river at dusk. Swans move across the water. One of them turns toward you with unmistakable recognition. You do not chase it. You listen. Somewhere across the water, a song begins, and the heart remembers what it once thought it had lost.